Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Sorting Out Samples. I changed up the setup a little bit. It's gotten a quite thumbnail now with a little bit of orange color. But we've got 5 more samples to go through today. And the 5 samples are Diptyque's 34 Boulevard Saint-Germain. This is the EDP. Then we've also got Chanel's No19 EDP. Yes, I shamefully admit that I have not smelled this before. The third one is Bois 1920 Real Patchouly. The fourth one will be YSL's Jazz. This one, the 2011 version in the square bottle. And the last one is Aesop's Above Us Steorra. I've smelled this briefly on strip in the store, but not enough to really say much. So I hopefully from the sample will be able to tell you more of my thoughts on it. All right, let's start with the Diptyque. Got my blotters here. Give it a good spritz and tell you my thoughts. I've also smelled this Diptyque quite some time ago, but also just very briefly. Let's see what I get. And it's already in the air. This is sweet and spicy, but also citrusy. So I think it has bergamot. I think it has some mandarin orange maybe. Probably has some cardamom, cinnamon, all of those warm spices. Maybe some amber as well. This feels kind of resinous. So labdanum, benzoin, those types of all those resins. But with a certain lightness and certain brightness. So this is not a dark scent. It smells very perfumey in that typical Diptyque style. It's got slight powderiness, and there's some aromatics in here as well. Something slightly green, something slightly vegetal. Just ever so slightly. Could be some florals in here as well. So yeah, lots of stuff. Very modern. Very pleasant. It's got a bit of a nutty feel now as well. Maybe some patchouli. Interesting. Let's have a look at the official notes real quick. Okay, so this scent came out in 2018 and it contains pink pepper, sandalwood and vanilla. Now that's a very short notes list and it's not very accurate. I mean, all of those are contained in here, I'm sure. And I get the sweetness of the vanilla. But to me, it's more resinous. I feel like I get resins and more spices. It doesn't name any resins, which surprises me quite a bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but I want to say this does have some. All right. It was perfumed by Olivier Pecheux, who I think does quite a few of the Diptyque scents, and he does a good job. Yeah, it's very pleasant. Got a bit of a kind of bakery feel to it to me as well. Slightly like cookies. Interesting. Okay, let's go on to number 19 Eau de Parfum, which does not need an introduction at all, right? Everybody has heard of this. This is a classic Chypre by Chanel. And they make this in the Eau de Toilette. They make this in the Parfum concentration as well, which I'm not sure if they still have it available. There's a number 19 Poudre, which uses more powdery notes such as violet and iris. And this is famous for being a green Chypre. So let's see what I get from it. Yeah, and that's what I get. Like, it is big galbanum. It smells like bell pepper, like green bell peppers. It smells like a little bit like basil. But there's loads of florals in here as well. White florals, yellow florals. So jasmine, ylang ylang. It's a bit of a vanillic sweetness coming through from the base. It does have echoes of Vol de Nuit, but number 19 it smells more modern, I would say. And it's aldehydes as well. It's slightly waxy. I'm sure this is, to most people, quite a classic perfume. But when you smell it side by side with Vol de Nuit, I smelled Vol de Nuit yesterday, coincidentally. But this one smells more modern. It's sweeter. And it's a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more fresh. The aldehydes are doing a lot here. It's very, it's not surprisingly not as powerful. Maybe because I just smelled the Diptyque. The Diptyque is a lot bigger. Okay, let's have a look at the official notes for number 19 Eau de Parfum. This was released in 1971, so it's still quite old. And the official notes are Galbanum, Hyacinth, Bergamot, Neroli, Iris, Jasmine, Lily of the Valley, Narcissus, Rose, Ylang Ylang. So Narcissus actually is a good shout. Iris as well. The rose is very subtle. There's not a lot of rose in here. Neroli in the top provides a lot of that freshness. Oak moss, leather, musk, sandalwood, and cedar wood in the base. I want to say there's some vanilla in here as well, just a touch. It's nice. The oak moss is the main player, I would say. And they've done a good job at keeping the oak moss accord alive. Because obviously they can't use a big amount of oak moss, and this is a modern formulation. So this will be mostly patchouli and maybe low atronol oak moss, like a fractional distillation. Okay, the third one to check out will be Bois 1920s Real Patchouly. So, bit of a controversy with this one, even though it's not a very popular scent. But this used to be an eau de toilette. And at some point, they reformulated it and brought it out as an eau de parfum. And unfortunately, the seller has not labeled this, but I'm fairly sure that this must be the eau de parfum, because the eau de parfum has been out for quite a while now. And in general, when you look at the color of the juice, right, this is rather clear. The eau de toilette is a little bit darker. But yeah, patchouli can have so many different facets. It can be dusty, it can be leathery, it can be earthy, it can be chocolatey, it can be grassy, minty, even a little bit fruity, you know, all of these things. Let's see what Real Patchouly is about by Bois 1920. Okay. So this goes into that slightly boozy, chocolatey, and earthy patchouli to my nose. Yeah, for sure. It's got a bit of that cognac feel to my nose. Like fermented grapes that have been distilled. And there is some chocolate here, maybe like chocolate pralines filled with a liqueur type of filling. It's lightly sweet. There's gonna be some vanilla and tonka in here, my guess would be. But it's not overly done. There's a nice bit of citrus in the top. Honestly, this to me goes into that YSL M7 direction. Although this is maybe not quite as woody as the M7. But yeah, that's similar direction. Let's have a look at the official notes. All right, Bois 1920 Real Patchouly came out in 2005, sorry. And the official notes are Davana, which helps the booziness. Davana is going to be giving you a lot of booziness. Celery, Texas cedar, thyme, mandarin orange, patchouli, eucalyptus, Indian sandalwood, incense, benzoin, ambergris, labdanum, musk, tobacco, and vanilla. It's a great sounding note list. I totally get the booziness. I totally get the mandarin orange and patchouli, which all of that is very similar to M7. M7 also uses mandarin orange, big dose. M7 also uses lots of vanilla in the base and labdanum. But I guess M7 is a little bit more heavy on the gaiac wood. This is actually, at least on the blotter, a little bit less sweet than M7 and less soapy. This is more aromatic. It's a little bit greener and it's earthier. So when M7 goes to my nose rather deeply into that smoky, chocolatey thing, this here is more, it's more like incense sticks, more earthy, greener. Yeah, like I said, it's more foresty. But yeah, the controversy is, I think, Rich Mitch, our friend, the duck, he was absolutely disappointed by the Eau de Parfum version, so I assume that the Eau de Toilette is a lot nicer. And I think he mentioned that this might have some amber woods in it, the Eau de Parfum. It has this dry woody feel about it, but I can't speak to the amber woods yet on first impressions. All right, let's move on to YSL M7. No, sorry, not M7. I was speaking about M7 earlier, but this is Jazz. So again, this used to come in a really beautiful black and white bottle that they phased out, and then at some point YSL put it into that range of square bottles together with M7, together with Rive Gauche before they discontinued that. And I don't know if Jazz is discontinued also now. But yeah, let's see what Jazz gives us. Barbershop, barbershop, barbershop. Totally big barbershop. So citrus in the top, bergamot, lemon, lavender, but like an earthy lavender. Patchouli, vetiver. There's something other green in here as well, some other herbs, and it's more leathery than Rive Gauche Pour Homme. Rive Gauche Pour Homme is super clean, insanely clean. This Jazz here has something dirty about it. It's slightly stinky, it's slightly old school in that sense. And I think it's the patchouli, probably. Maybe there might be some leather raw materials in here as well. I think this is kind of dirty patchouli and dirty lavender. Yeah, this smells very 80s to my nose, even though I didn't wear perfume in the 80s, but this is kind of what I associate with that. And Rive Gauche is more modern. Rive Gauche Pour Homme is, to my nose, the nicer scent. It's more powdery, it's more foamy. Yeah, this here, I'm not so sure about the base. I'm not 100% convinced. Let's have a look at the official notes. So, YSL Jazz. Of course, it might have been reformulated, but I heard it's held up well. So this version came out in 2011, but I think the original one is from the late 70s, I want to say. Or maybe 80s. Might be 80s. Might be 88 or something like that. Yeah, okay, so the official notes are coriander, astragon, geranium, cypress, and patchouli. So geranium, I totally get. I should have mentioned that. It's not terribly minty. It's there. And the astragon and coriander as well, they give a little bit of that green, slightly culinary vibe, actually. It's got a little bit of that soup stock smell. But fresh. It is fresh. The patchouli just here is quite, to my nose, a little bit too dirty, a little bit too on the nose, you could say. All right, let's have a look at Aesop, above us Steorra. This is their most recent release, and you can see I got an official sample for this one, actually. Aesop is a brand that, in the niche sphere, kind of has fallen a little bit by the wayside. By the way, this is the bad type of atomizer for sample sprays. If you see this atomizer, be prepared for the worst. But let's hope this sprays. It did spray, but I had to spray it like 5 times to get a little bit on the blotter. Okay. Yeah, Aesop, I think I've been quite impressed by everything I smelled from them. I think they smell nice. I think it's not high perfumery, but it's never really bored me. And it's got that very nature type of feeling. It's kind of almost Scandinavian in a way, but stronger, more personality than maybe you would associate with something like Scandinavian perfume, maybe like Byredo. Even though Byredo still does some good stuff. All right, let's see what above us Steorra gives us. Very spicy, very dusty, peppery, loads of pepper, pink pepper, black pepper, incense, cardamom. It's got a bit of that roasted note. There's some cumin in here. So I didn't pick up on that when I smelled it first, but there is a little bit of that fizzy cumin stuff, but it's so subtly done. It's still mainstream perfumery in that sense, even though this is not the biggest brand. And I'm starting to get a little bit of that ambery base. It's vanillic. It's woody. There's cedarwood, I would say. There's olibanum in this. Yeah, the cumin is interesting here. It's not really
bio cumin. It's just, it works with all of the others. This gives me Comme des Garçons. So this is not the first time that Aesop gives me Comme des Garçons. Of course, Huile is known to be similar to Comme des Garçons Inoki, the monocle series scent. And this also gives me a little bit of Comme des Garçons to man, I would say. Yeah. It has this a little bit of a churchy feel, but it's sweeter, it's more ambery, it's more labdanum, and it has the spices because Comme des Garçons loves putting just a tiny bit of cumin in their scents, just to add a little bit of edge. And Aesop does it here as well. But it has a freshness, it has like that piney freshness. Yeah, and it's an amber for sure. This is a spicy amber, but they actually went ahead and in 2025, more mainstream type of scent, added some cumin. And it has this really nice pine needle type of smell, for sure. All right, let's have a look at the official notes for Above Us Steorra. Weird name. I don't know what it is about. It sounds like it is about like stars or something. All right, the official notes are cardamom, elemi, bergamot, incense, labdanum, cypriol, vanilla, cinnamon, and cypriol again. I don't know why they put it twice, but all right, cypriol. Do I get cypriol? Do I get cypriol? Yeah, a little bit. It's not overly stinky. It's not like silver oud. It adds a little bit of that dryness, that dry woodiness. Because this is a very dry scent. Slightly smoky too. Parfumeur is Céline Barrel. And, oh, by the way, the perfumer for YSL Jazz was Jean-François Latti. I'm sorry, I didn't mention that one. And Real Patchouly, is it listed? Yeah, sorry, Real Patchouly was Enzo Gallardi. Okay. Number 19, Henri Robert. No, but I like this. I like Above Steorra. I think the cypriol here is not overbearing because I have an issue with overbearing cypriol. And the spices are well judged. The elemi adds some smokiness here as well. This is not the citrusy elemi that I get from Eau Sauvage Parfum. This is more like a smoky elemi, more like Royal Tobacco maybe from Amouage. But that's kind of where the similarities end with Royal Tobacco. But yeah, dusty, spicy, peppery, incense, and amber with cumin. All right, let's go through them again and then I'll give you my conclusion. All right, 34 Saint Germain. Clean, very clean now. Actually, it's a lot less resinous now that I smell it against the Above Us Steorra. Yeah, it's very creamy, it's very musky. It smells pleasant, but yeah, it's just so musky. I would say there's lots of ambroxolite in here. I wish it would do a little bit more than those big musks. Number 19. Oh, this is great. This is just good stuff. Totally would wear this, number 19. The florals are coming through now. This has a very nice structure where it really develops. And I'm sure on skin it would open up even more. The galbanum is just here still in the background. And it's giving away to those florals. The rose is actually now noticeable, whereas I didn't really get it before. It's also slightly geranium-y. And the jasmine and ylang beautifully do their parts here. And then Real Patchouly. Yeah, it's just so maybe a little bit too earthy for me, a little bit too dusty now as well. It's kind of got a mushroomy feel to it, which can be nice, but I'm not sure about it in this context. No, not entirely convinced by this one. All right, and Jazz. It's nice. It does smell like shaving foam, but it's just not as good as Rive Gauche to my nose. It's just not as good. The patchouli is just too much, too old school. I'm sorry. Okay, my favorite is gonna be today number 19, Eau de Parfum. That one will be my favorite. Then after that, I would put think even the Aesop, maybe, surprisingly. After that, I would give it to the Diptyque 34 Saint-Germain, which is just pleasant, but kind of boring. Then probably Jazz. I need to wear this on skin and see how dirty it is on skin. Hopefully not as dirty as here, not as, yeah, just cheap patchouli smelling. Yeah, if you like that hippie style of patchouli, maybe you like YSL Jazz, but maybe also it's too shaving foamy for you then. And on last place, unfortunately, Bois 1920 Real Patchouly. Nice opening, nice opening. But maybe it does better on skin. It just kind of fell off a cliff on the blotter. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for, as I basically destroy the whole setup. Thank you for sticking with me, discovering these 5 scents. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these. Let me know what you feel about them. And have a great day. Take care. And we see each other in the next video. Bye-bye.